We've been living in our 2016 converted GMC cargo van for a little over 2 years now. And over that time, I've learned quite a bit about myself and about building a tiny home on wheels. Made some great memories, taken on a lot of challenges, and made some changes in my own life, which has been great. But my most favorite memory, and I think kind of thing that has changed my life the most, that has happened with me living here, didn't take long, and it was just in the first couple weeks. And it was when I very first connected my solar panels to the house battery system and started creating power from the sun. Blew my mind. I knew you could do it. I didn't know I could do it. But it has been what's kind of been running our life for the last 2 and a bit years. So I'm just going to go find a place to kind of get some work done, and we're going to jump in and take a look at the electrical system I have in here. That was pretty cool coming in here, seeing a couple deer on the road coming in. I thought that one that was staring Alma down, I thought she was going out the window after that thing. But she was a good girl, stayed in the car. Now she's just casing all the squirrels up in the tree here. But yeah, I'm gonna take you inside. I did a little sweep up from all the dog hair. But just take you inside and gonna show you what I got going on for power in here and kind of how it all works. Or at least how I got it going on. I mean, I'm not a licensed electrician by any means. But you know, with the help of University of YouTube and asking some friends questions here and there, I was able to get this pretty simple system all put together. Let's check it out. Yeah, so I hope you can see me okay in here. But yeah, so the system that I got in here is strictly 12 volt. I do not have an inverter to convert the power from, you know, DC power to AC. So your plug-in power. I just have DC power. The van has an AC plug, so that seems to work for charging tools and stuff when I'm driving. I can do that. So what we got here is we got the turn this light on here. I mean, the workhorse of the whole thing is this. It's a 204 amp hour lithium SOK battery. So that's the battery I chose to go with. So we have our solar panel, which is up on the roof. Our solar panels. We have 2 175 watt solar panels up there. They come through a flange, and then that comes through the roof here. And these wires come down and then into this double pole shut-off switch. So basically, that shuts off the positive and negative from the solar coming in at the same time. Obviously, when it's light outside, there's always power coming in from your solar panel. I've heard of some people that'll put a blanket up there over top of it if they're working on it. Or I guess you just got to do it at night. But if you get one of these, you can shut it off, and they say it's a good idea to be able to shut the positive and negative off at the same time. So that's what that can do. That just shuts off the solar, and then you turn it back on. Comes in from the solar panels, goes through here, and into our MPPT controller. I have the 100 volt, 30 amp controller. It gets into this guy, and it does its magic and transforms that sunlight into usable energy that you can charge the battery with. So super cool. So it comes out here, and then I have two bus bars. There's a positive and a negative bus bar. And all bus bars are basically is extending the cable or the node on your battery. So I got all of my positive over here, negatives over there. There is a ground wire running off this one. It's that blue wire in there. And I have that down through a hole in the floor of the van. And then I have that drilled into the actual frame of the van. So that keeps it grounded well. So the power comes in and then goes into these into the bus bars, and then the bus bars are obviously attached to the batteries, and that's how that's how the batteries charge. This is our DC to DC charger. So it's a 12-volt system into a 12-volt system, and it charges at 30 amps. So this is what essentially is charging off the alternator of the vehicle. So there's a wire that runs from here to the battery in the engine bay, goes into the charge controller here, and then it does its thing, and then it comes out, and I got it onto the bus bar. And actually, this one I have attached straight to the battery. So it'll just charge the battery straight through like that. And fantastic. I don't use it a whole lot. I do have it in right now. Some people will hook it up with a toggle switch or something. This little thing here is kind of what makes it work. So that thing, if that thing's unplugged, it doesn't work, or it's shut off essentially. And then if you plug that back in, it's turned on. Yeah, I don't use that charge controller off the battery very often in the summer. I find that by midday on a sunny day, that power's topped right up. I guess the next thing is our fuse panel. So this is all our stuff unmarked, but this is all our components. So it is our fridge, and the fridge actually had just a plug on it, like a cigarette lighter plug. But I cut that, and then got some butt connectors here with the positive or the negative and the positive here. And you got to be careful, because there's some of these coming out of those, the wire's black. That's positive, and you got to figure out which one is what. So got some butt connectors here. So I basically hardwired the fridge into the fuse panel here, which is safer. So we got wires for the fridge coming in here. We got wires for the two fans, the front fan and the back fan. And then this wire here is for the heater. And the heater is under the bed. And that'll get the glow plug. It's a 20 amp. So that's a kind of, that'll get the glow plug going to fire up that diesel to get the heater making heat, which is what we want it to do. We'll pop that back on there. And then I guess the final thing we got back here, pretty simple system here, is our battery shunt. And that's this guy right here. So this is running, the negative wires from the battery run through that. So this negative coming off the post here for the negative of the battery goes onto this, and then another one comes out, and then I have that attached to the bus bar. So basically the shunt is kind of the brains of the operation. It'll show you what your state of charge is. It will let you know how much the battery's charging, how much it's charging, how much is being discharged. It'll show you if you have any faults or anything funky going on. So super cool. And all of this is connected to an app. Okay, well this is quite the camera on the iPad here, but give you an idea of what we got going on. So this guy up here at the top that's off, that is the DC to DC 12 volt to 12 volt charger. So when the car is running, and if that's plugged in, it'll show you, you know, how much power is coming from the front battery, or from the alternator, and the voltage, and how much is charging. So we're not on that right now. Our solar, right now we're on float. So all that means is the battery is full, topped up, and everything in the system here is running off solar power. The power's coming in and just floating basically across the battery. It's not going into the battery. It's going across the battery and into the system. And right now we have 19 watts, 20 watts is what it's taking for that system to that's how much power we're using right now. This will also show you some history on the day or the month or whatever. So we have 19 watts coming in. Our current going out is half an amp. The voltage looks great, 13.5, and we're on float. So if we go up here, we can hit the history. This is kind of cool. So it shows you what happened today. I did have my DC to DC charger going. So the white is how much it's charged, or the charging, full charging, and then that light blue is how much time it spent on float. So yesterday here, it charged for, I don't know if we can see that, charged for 5 hours and 56 minutes. It was on absorption, which is just kind of the in-between, for 15 minutes, and then it was on float for 6 hours and 40 minutes. That was all the daylight sun it got. And we had a total of 800 watt hours come in. Kind of cool. It shows you a lifetime. I've never reset this. So in about 25 months, I have generated and used 463 kilowatt hours with the solar system here as well. Some trends, you can see really the spikes in the way the sun. So there's different spikes the way the solar's coming in, the solar voltage. And what that MPPT controller does is kind of even that all out and send it into the battery. And then this is the shunt. So this is basically the brains. So it kind of tells us everything, the state of charge. We're at 100%. It'll tell you all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, I don't use it much. But it will tell you a total of 23 charge cycles. It's had to synchronize itself 361 times, which is where it kind of just resets. When it knows it's full, it'll reset. It's been 38 minutes since our last full charge. I don't know why, because we're fully charged now. And I like this. It'll give you whether you had any high or low voltage alarms. So I did look at that when my fridge was running low and the voltage was going down and the fridge was shutting off. But from what I could tell of this, it wasn't that. Check the wires, it wasn't that. So far, I think it's that. Now, it looks like we got a little something. It looks like we got an update. They do say update these every time you can. But that is basically what I have here. I mean, it's not pushing a lot of power. DC power is direct current, and so it will pull power to the unit or the thing that needs the power, and that will be pulling as much power as it needs. You want to be careful with how you size your wires. For sure, you want to have a fuse because you don't want your wires getting hot. And one of the main reasons why your wires get hot is because the gauge on them, the thickness, is not enough for that power to get through because direct current just keeps pushing it. So there are some charts online if you're getting into doing this. Trust me, it's not that hard, but you want to be careful. I went over everything 20 times before I actually did it. But then it worked. But there are charts online that show you how much the amperage is and the voltage and what you need it for and what the voltage of that unit is that you need, and then what gauge of wire you need. So it'll tell you what gauge of wire you need, and it changes with distance. And then I just have this component up here that charges here and here, And I just picked up another one of these, not this full unit, just the cigarette lighter part. Picked up one of those the other day, and I think I'm going to try to get that installed today. Now, I want some power over on this side, so I haven't drilled a hole in here yet, but in the next day or two, we'll get that drilled. I'm going to run the wire for it and get that put in. So let me go track down some wires and my tools, and we'll meet back here and I'll get that all done up. While I do that, if you're enjoying this or checked out any videos and haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. It is, you know, it's nice to feel that, you know, you're watching this and maybe enjoying it. Right, Alma? What do you think about that, buddy? Nice, got a nice little view of the ocean down here. Little view. Got all this stuff collected here. It kind of feels like it's going to rain out here shortly. So this might be a good evening. Stay in the homestead here and take care of some stuff. But pretty basic here. I got a couple of these wire cutters and crimpers. I can't remember. I like one for cutting more and then one for crimping more. I don't remember which one. And then I got the attachments that are going to go in the back of these. It's a little female end that goes into the male end of this guy. And then we got our 12 gauge wire, which is probably a little overkill for this, but that's not a bad way to do it, especially with these short runs and small things. I just use 12 gauge. This is what we got. We got the connectors here to go in the back here. These are the female ends that slide on here. So these things are going to get on there and attach to the fuse box. So yeah, when I built this roof, I intentionally did these panels so that they can come out, and then underneath these runners is where the ribs are. So my plan is to just run the wires up and then along that guy down in behind here, and we're going to attach that just over here. So let's see how we do with that. Yeah, I think it's these ones I like better for stripping. And you can probably see they have different hole sizes with wire strippers on there, and the gauge of the wire is just on there. So these ones go from 18, which is the smallest, or actually 22, which is really small, up to 10 gauge. The wire end here, get to the 12 gauge schneep. Just strip that wire like so. All right, so we are going to attach this terminal lead to our positive wire here. So this bit of the wire is going to go in there, clean all the way in. So you don't want any wire kind of exposed through here. And we're going to get our crimper, and go right on that part, right on that metal part where the wire is underneath, and just squeeze the hell out of that. And give that a good tug. That is not moving. So we got that. And then these ones came with a heat shrink. So you got to shrink that down. That helps hold it on, but more importantly, helps stopping moisture from getting in there. So I'm just going to use a lighter here. You don't want to hold this directly on the wire. All right, I think that's pretty good. We have the wire running right up to where where it goes into the terminal. We got that shrink wrap squeezed on there pretty good. So I think we're ready to do the negative one, and then we will go get those attached, measure them, and get the other piece put on the other end. Okay, and this is really going to put my ceiling to the test here. See if we can get this out and drop down, or at least drop down so we can get the wires in there. Perfect. All right, so we're going to pop this wire down through this little notch I made in the back here. And it'll be about that far to get to the fuse box. And then you're going to run it up here. And it's going to go through along here. On this little notch. Down through the back. A little bit of slack, we'll probably call it right here. So you'll go cut this one. Cut the negative to match. And get the female ends put on this side of the wire. All right, so we got our wires. So we got the wires hanging down here. We'll get those put in on the fuse box here in a bit. They come out this little notch I cut there and then up into this notch in the roof. And they're running along. I put this little notch here for any times I knew that there'd be some wires coming out in around this area. So I notched this up here a little bit when I put the ceiling in. And then we will sure these up, but I just want to make sure it works. It's going to run down here. And here's our ends right here. And this is our guy we're going to attach there. He opens up and stuff in here. Oh, it came with the terminal connectors, but whatever, we'll hold on to those. Those are the automotive ones, I think, or that really hard plastic. So we got these. There is a positive and a negative. So the one towards the middle right here is the positive. So that's going to be our red wire. We'll put that on there. And the negative, obviously, is going to be the black wire. Slide that on there. So we are connected. And my plan is, it came with this little faceplate. So I think I need to just kind of sure this up here a little bit. I think I'm going to put a hole right in here somewhere. Or I might just put a piece of wood above it. And then this will go down. And we'll have it right there as our plug. Right beside the water. Probably not the smartest idea. And then we're just going to choose a... got to put this on. Now, nothing's going to happen yet because we don't have a fuse on there. But that side's crowded. Let's come over here. I'm going to put the negative or the ground up here. And we'll put the positive down here. We'll go get a fuse. Now we'll get our ground attached. Our negative wire. Okay. So we have positive down here, nice and tight. That negative went right there, nice and tight. Okay, get a fuse. Now, unfortunately, all I got is a 15 amp fuse. It's supposed to be a 5 for I'm just going to charge like my phone and computer and stuff with this. So a 5 amp fuse would be plenty. I don't have one. So we're just going to test drive it with the 15. Okay, and now this is it. We got this in here. I'll plug this in. Little light came on. That's good. And I need something to charge. I was going to charge my phone, but that's my phone. Here I got my little case where I keep my microphones charged. So put that in here, and if this green light or yellow light or red light comes on, orange light, we are in business. All right. Perfect. Like that. I was just getting a little bit, it was just too much over here. Everything was plugged in over here. Sometimes when I'm working over here and I want to charge things here, I had the cable would come across and Elma would jump off the bed and she'd be pulling stuff down and whatever. So this is better over here. So now we got one more here, that over there. Perfect. So we just got to make sure these are all nice and tight. Now you don't want to over tighten this stuff. I don't have a torque screwdriver. I definitely should have had one for doing the charge controllers, but I don't have one. So I just didn't go too tight. I think that's the key. Put that on there. And we are in business. Right on. So that's nice to get that done. I'm glad to see that the sealing worked the way I was hoping it would, which is kind of sweet. You know, it really is nice to be able to do this myself. And it didn't take a lot, as I say. And I mean, I think key getting into building something like this, if you're kind of thinking that, you know, to know how things work. And if you ever do have a problem, you're kind of probably more better apt to be able to fix it because you can, or at least diagnose it, just because you're familiar with everything. I think, you know, if you get a van that was pre-built or a custom build, hopefully people will go over that with you and let you know where everything is. But it's really nice to know kind of the ins and outs of everything. So if you do have a problem or you do want to add something new, it's pretty easy. And you understand kind of how everything works. And also, I'm kind of getting on this vein of trying to save money and be wiser with my money and my spending. When you know how to do these things by yourself, you don't have to pay somebody else to do it. And on that note, I have kind of gone to the grocery store here earlier today. I'm going to try to start bulk cooking. I kind of got it pegged for Sundays because football season's here now. So it'll give me something to do while I'm watching football. Kind of rained and I had other things going on this past Sunday. But I think that's going to be moving forward. I'm going to try to Sundays kind of bulk cook meals for the week. Lunches and sides for dinner and things like that to make it a little easier and quicker when it comes time to eat, but essentially saving myself some money. I was just cleaning up the tools here and I forgot to mention the multimeter tool, which is definitely handy to see if a wire is live, to find out, you know, if something might be shorting out or if you're getting a voltage drop. You can always check it with this thing. We were pretty simple what we were doing today, so didn't really break that out. I am going to put a link in the description, or some links in the description of this video, for all the components that I do have and use in here if you're interested in checking anything out, or if you're on the market for buying any of this stuff. Elma's dying to get out and check out the zone. We haven't been here all summer. Stayed here at Graves quite a bit last summer, but actually I haven't come here this summer. So nice to get in here for an evening. It looks like the rain might hold off. This is my first attempt in a while at, you know, a big bulk meal. So we got some beans, we got some pasta, we got mayo, we got pesto, carrots, onions, pepper, olives. Should be good. Dinner tonight, man, we got some deer sausages. I am stoked for those. Some homemade corn relish, some homemade hot pepper relish, oh, and some yellow mustard. So I'm going to fire those onto the grill here and maybe scoop out a little bit of that pasta salad and fill up the belly. That is going to hit the spot. Nova Scotian venison sausages. You know, I don't know what happens this time of year, but it is about 8:30 and it is pitch black outside. Alma had her supper. I got those sausages all finished up, and they were dynamite. But we're going to run down and get the dishes cleaned up, and then probably just tuck it for the evening. So I think that's all we got for today. We will see you in the morning. Alma's ready to go back out and chase squirrels. Hey, morning, y'all. Not a beautiful morning, but a rainy morning. I had a beautiful time. You know, it's not many days where I get to wake up and just relax. But it was beautiful this morning. It's about 8:30 now. We got up about an hour ago, made a coffee, just kind of sat in the van. It was raining. Enjoyed that. And this area needs the rain. Rained last night, rained again this morning. But I came down here to kind of do the little loop trail around the island here. And unfortunately, these trails are still closed. That woods, going into the woods bend is still on in this area, down in Lunenburg County is where we are. So unfortunately, we're just gonna have to walk the campground road back up to have a shower. So I'm gonna do that. Nothing too exciting about that. We're at Graves Island Provincial Park. Great little provincial park here, but you know, there's a little less to explore right now. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. You got a little something from it. You know, just the kind of do-it-yourself attitude is fantastic sometimes. There's a lot of tools and knowledge and, you know, resources out there that you can access if you ever do want to get into, you know, doing whatever on your own. But if you're thinking about building a van, and especially the electrical stuff might be something that you're a little gun shy about, it's worth checking out and seeing what you can do. Keep it simple at first. Make sure things are going well. I mean, that's what I did. I'm still really simple, which has been working out just fine. I think I'm going to leave this one here. Thanks for sticking with me. We will see you soon on the next one. Right on, y'all.